I've been using this phone, the Redmi Note 17 5G, for about a month now, and all I can say is a lot has changed. You see, I'm a huge fan of the Redmi Note series. In fact, I reviewed the Note 13, the Note 14, the Note 15, and for whatever reason, they skipped the Note 16, and now we have the Note 17. So when Xiaomi contacted me and said they want to send me this phone, I had a bit of expectation as to what I would get when it comes to the performance of this phone. One of the first things that kind of like took me aback a bit was when I was unboxing this phone and I discovered that there is no charging brick inside it. But that was just the beginning. The ultra-wide camera is gone. The stereo speakers has been replaced by a single mono speaker. The processor is now weaker. 4K video recording has disappeared, and even parts of this display has been reduced. The more I use it, the more I ask myself, why so many changes? Both the rear and the frame are still made from plastic, which is expected from a phone at this price range. The camera module at the back is also much smaller. Xiaomi has moved away from that slightly curved sides of the previous model and replaced them with a completely flat frame and display. And personally, I think I like it that we have not been a huge fan of that slightly curved display with the Redmi Note 15 and even previous models. At the top, you're going to find the infrared blaster. Along the bottom, you're going to see a USB-C port, a microphone, and the phone's single speaker. The phone weighs approximately 225 grams, so it feels noticeably large and heavy in the hand. But the reason for that has to do with the battery, which I'll talk more later. When it comes to durability, the Redmi Note 17 5G has an IP65 rating against dust and water jets, while the display is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 7i against everyday scratches and damages. Now, when it comes to the display, thankfully, it is still familiar. We now get a much larger 6.99 inches display with a full HD Plus AMOLED panel, a refresh rate that gets up to 120 Hz, and support for the DCI-P Cherry White color gamut. Videos look good, colors are vibrant, and scrolling feels really smooth on it. However, there are two areas where this display has reduced in quality. Last year, we had peak brightness with the Redmi Note 15 up to 3,800 nits, but this year we're getting just 1,800 nits peak. And the second is that the color depth has reduced from 12-bit to just 8-bit. Performance has also taken a step back. This year, Xiaomi chose to go with Snapdragon 4 Gen 4 as against the much more powerful Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 that we had last year with the Redmi Note 15. My unit here has 6 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of UFS 2.2 storage, although an 8 gig RAM version is also available. But specifications just tells a part of the story. In normal everyday use, the phone still handles most of what I would expect an affordable phone like this to handle. I notice occasional pauses though when I'm opening applications, and there are some lags when I'm switching between demanding apps and games, but overall the performance has really been solid. Now, what hasn't been solid is HyperOS, because tell me why there are not just so many bloatware applications that I have to like uninstall to just improve my experience using this phone, but it also comes really laden with recommendations and advertisements. I'm swiping out for notifications, there it is. I'm trying to like customize the display. You see a lot of ads. Sometimes I even have to wait for some seconds for the ads to finish playing before I can do anything on a phone. But you see, the compromises of HyperOS on this phone goes way beyond advertisement. There is no split screen multitasking and no floating windows, features that were readily available with the Redmi Note 15 5G. Now, I may understand some reasons why you want to remove some effect to just make it smoother to use because they chose to go with a low tier processor, but removing some really useful features like floating windows and split screen, for me, I feel like that is excessive. And I don't want to think it's because of the processor, because I know a Snapdragon processor like that can support all of these features. So even though the phone technically runs Android 16 and HyperOS version 3, you don't get that full experience with it. One of the few positives though when it comes to software is that you get some few AI like Seco to Search and Gemini, so you can be able to do a bit of AI stuff with this phone, and you also get 6 years of not software updates but security updates on this phone. There is no clear message as to how many years of software support you can get, so you want to keep that in mind. Now let me give you some good news, because I know you're like dying to hear one at least positives when it comes to this phone, and that is probably the only reason why I would even recommend that you buy this phone, and that is the battery. Xiaomi has increased the capacity to a massive 7,700 mAh silicon carbon battery that supports up to 45 watts of turbo charging. And in my usage, battery life has been excellent, exactly as you would expect from a battery this large. Now, depending on how heavily you use your phone, this can comfortably last you for a whole day and even up to 2 if you stretch it. But then, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to charging, you may not get that 45 watts turbo charger on this phone because it doesn't come in a box. So except you want to go to Amazon or eBay to buy that charger, or you have up to that rating at home, then you can get it. Otherwise, this phone can only charge as fast as the charger that you have at home. It also supports up to 22.5 watts wired reverse charging. So with the right cable, you can use its enormous battery to charge another phone, your earbuds, or other accessories. And this battery is probably the clearest reason as to why Xiaomi would do all the cut downs that we have been talking about with respect to this phone. I think they're trying to make the Redmi Note series to not just be that all-round affordable phone that has everything good spec-wise, but now more like a battery phone, the phone you go to get if you want a phone that can last you for 2 days and even more, because of the massive battery that is inside it. And that kind of like conforms with the whole mantra of this year's launch, you know, Titan power and things like that. It is all about the battery now. Now let's talk about the cameras, which is probably the only place where I would say use the word disappointed when it comes to the cut downs and downgrades that Xiaomi made with this phone. Now we're just stuck with a 50 megapixel rear camera along with a 16 megapixel front facing cameras. Now, to be fair, the main camera takes decent pictures in proper lighting. Colors look good, images are reasonably sharp, and Xiaomi's final processing produces photographs that I would say are perfectly usable on social media. It does this basic point and shoot job really well. The problem is that is all you get. There is no ultra wide perspective. So if you want to take pictures of houses like this, you have to like make sure you move back to be able to get everything in. Video recording has also dropped from 4K on the Redmi Note 15 5G to a maximum of 1080p at 30 frames per second on both the front and the rear cameras of this phone. In good lighting, I would say the footage is decent. Colors and details are acceptable, but dynamic range processing may not be particularly impressive. And also, there is no stabilization, so you get shaky footage whenever you have to record while walking. And that is what really makes it disappointing. Not only is it less usable, because I can't recommend it now to somebody who wants to say start content creation as a phone that can record 4K, but then there is no flexibility as compared to its predecessor, the Redmi Note 15 5G. And then it gets even worse. This phone cannot play 4K videos on it. And that brings me to the conclusion of this video. I have two hypotheses when it comes to why I think Redmi or Xiaomi would downgrade this phone so badly. The first, like I mentioned before, is the fact that, yeah, we are living in that time where phone components and parts are getting really expensive. So everybody is basically increasing the prices of their phones. We've seen Samsung do it, we've seen Pixel do it, we've seen Apple do it. So maybe that is why they don't want to increase the price of the Note series to make it not competitive. So the best thing is to just downgrade it in so many ways or so many parts and still make it affordable for people who want to buy it. The second thing I'm looking at is maybe they want to create this huge gap between the regular Redmi Note series and the Pro versions. But even at that, these two reasons do not in any way fully explain why there are so many cut downs when it comes to the Redmi Note 17 as compared to the Note 15 5G. But when we consider who I would recommend this phone for, maybe that's the reason why. Because like I said, it comes with a massive battery. So I would definitely be recommending it to people who want phones that can last them for 2 days at least when it comes to usage. And this phone basically, you know, satisfies that. So if you're a power user who wants a phone that can last you for as long as you want, that is the only reason why I would recommend the Redmi Note 17 compared to the Note 15 5G. Otherwise, for every other thing, cameras, display, storage, just name it, the Note 15 5G is obviously a better purchase. Or could it be the price? Now, I'm recording this video about 2 or 3 weeks before it will officially launch by August 27th globally. I don't know the price as at now, but once I know it, I would put it in the pinned comment of this video so you can go check the price. But I actually saw on Amazon that the Redmi Note 15 5G is selling for about £230. So if this phone launches at a price that is even close to that, then it's not worth it. It has to be so much lower than that price for it to be worth it. If not, I would just say go get the Redmi Note 15 if you are a Redmi user and you want to get a Redmi phone. Except you're a power user, then this is the one to get. So that is what I think about this phone, the Redmi Note 15 5G. However, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below and we can just continue the conversation there. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more reviews like this one. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.